James Ransone, a name forever etched in the hearts of fans through his unforgettable roles in the legendary show The Wire, tragically passed away at the age of 46, leaving an irreplaceable void in the entertainment world. Throughout his career, James was not only recognized for his emotionally charged performances, but also for his personal struggles that shaped his life and work. But did we truly know the man behind the roles? Join us as we dive into the life of this incredible talent, a man who left us far too soon. Hit like and give a thumbs up to honor his legacy. James Ransone was born on the 2nd of June, 1973, in Baltimore, Maryland, a city known for its raw authenticity and rich cultural history. Raised in a working-class family, his early years were shaped by the harsh realities of life in a community plagued by poverty and violence. From the outside, it may have seemed like James had little chance of escaping the shadows of his environment, but beneath the surface, there was a fire burning, a drive that would eventually push him into the world of acting. His mother, a fiercely independent woman, was the backbone of the family, raising James and his siblings with love and discipline. His father, a man of few words, was often absent, leaving his mother to handle the weight of raising a family alone. The absence of a paternal figure, however, would later play a significant role in the development of James's identity, giving him a sense of determination to overcome the challenges he faced. Growing up in Baltimore, James witnessed the struggles of his community firsthand. He saw the effects of drugs, crime, and systemic poverty, all of which shaped his perspective on the world. Yet, rather than succumbing to the negativity around him, he used it as fuel for his dreams. It was in the gritty streets of Baltimore that James began to develop a passion for storytelling, finding solace in the arts as an escape from the harsh realities of his environment. In high school, James became involved in theater, a place where he could express himself freely. The stage became his sanctuary, a place where he could explore the complexities of human emotion and delve into the depths of characters that spoke to him. It was here that he discovered his love for acting, and soon after, he made the decision to pursue a career in film and television. James' early life was far from easy. He often struggled with the pressures of his environment, dealing with issues like bullying and the constant fear of being caught up in the violence that seemed to surround him. However, despite these obstacles, he never lost sight of his goals. He was determined to rise above his circumstances and carve out a place for himself in an industry that seemed so distant from his reality. By the time he reached adulthood, James had developed a sharp awareness of the world around him, and this awareness would serve him well in his acting career. His ability to tap into the raw emotions of his characters and portray them with such authenticity made him a standout talent in an industry filled with competition. It was during these formative years that James also began to face personal demons. Struggling with feelings of inadequacy and a growing sense of isolation, he found solace in his work but also battled the darker sides of fame. His early years were not just about growing as an actor, but also about learning to navigate the complexities of life itself, facing down his own insecurities, and forging a path forward despite the odds stacked against him. James Ransone's journey to stardom was not a straightforward path, nor was it without its struggles. But in the face of adversity, he found the strength to persevere and eventually made his mark in the world of entertainment. It all started with his deep desire to break free from the limitations of his environment. Growing up in Baltimore had instilled in him a sense of resilience, a quality that would become essential as he worked to transform his passion for acting into a full-fledged career. In his late teens, James made the bold decision to leave his hometown and head to New York City. It was a city teeming with opportunity, but also filled with fierce competition. James, however, was undeterred by the daunting odds. He knew that if he was going to make it as an actor, he would have to work tirelessly, learning the craft and navigating the cutthroat nature of the industry. His early days in New York were challenging. James took on various odd jobs to make ends meet, from bartending to working in restaurants, all while attending acting classes and auditioning for roles. The hustle was exhausting, but it was a necessary part of the process. He spent countless hours honing his craft, learning from experienced mentors, and immersing himself in the world of theater and film. Despite the setbacks and the rejections, James's determination remained unshaken. His dream was clear. He wanted to become an actor, and nothing was going to stand in his way. It wasn't long before James began landing small roles in independent films and television shows. These early appearances, though modest, helped him build his resume and gain recognition within the industry. He showed a natural ability to bring depth and authenticity to his characters, which set him apart from others. But it was his breakout role in The Wire that would catapult him into the spotlight. James Ransone was cast in the role of Ziggy Sobotka, a troubled and complex character in the second season of The Wire. The show, renowned for its gritty portrayal of Baltimore's criminal underworld, was a critical and commercial success. Ziggy was a character that captured the audience's attention, vulnerable, flawed, and deeply human. James's portrayal of him was raw and emotionally charged, and it quickly became one of the standout performances of the series. His work on The Wire earned him widespread acclaim and established him as a talented actor capable of playing characters with depth and nuance. The success of The Wire opened doors for James, leading to more prominent roles in both film and television. He went on to appear in films like Sinister, where his performance as the deputy was both chilling and captivating. His ability to seamlessly transition between different genres, from gritty dramas to supernatural thrillers, showcased his versatility as an actor. Each role he took on added a new layer to his growing career, and he began to develop a loyal fan base that admired his craft. But James's success was not without its challenges. As his career progressed, so too did the pressures that came with it. The demands of fame and the constant scrutiny of the public eye took a toll on him. He struggled with the isolation that often accompanies being in the limelight, finding it difficult to balance his personal life with the demands of his professional career. The emotional weight of his roles also affected him deeply, as he immersed himself fully in the characters he portrayed, sometimes carrying their emotional burdens with him long after the cameras stopped rolling. Despite these challenges, James remained focused on his work. His commitment to his craft never wavered. He continued to take on complex and diverse roles, each time pushing himself to be better, to do more. His dedication to acting was matched only by his love for storytelling, and it was this passion that kept him going even in the face of adversity. Over the years, James's reputation as a reliable and skilled actor grew, and he earned the respect of his peers in the industry. Directors, producers, and fellow actors recognized his talent and work ethic, and he became a sought-after figure in Hollywood. Yet, despite his success, he remained humble and grounded, always remembering the hardships he had faced early in his career. As James's career continued to rise, he also began to explore other creative outlets. He became involved in producing and writing, looking for new ways to tell stories and collaborate with others in the industry. His experiences on The Wire and other projects had given him a deep understanding of the inner workings of the entertainment world, and he wanted to use that knowledge to contribute to the industry in a different capacity. Through it all, James never lost sight of the values that had driven him from the beginning: resilience, hard work, and a deep passion for the art of acting. His journey to success was not easy, but it was a testament to the power of perseverance and the belief that dreams can come true even when the odds seem insurmountable. James Ransone's career was a testament to the idea that success is not always about being the biggest star in the room, but about making a lasting impact through talent, dedication, and authenticity. His achievements, though often understated compared to the glitz and glamour of other Hollywood A-listers, carried a weight that resonated deeply with audiences and critics alike. The defining moment of Ransone's career came with his unforgettable portrayal of Ziggy Sobotka in the second season of The Wire. The show, a masterpiece of television, brought attention to the gritty realities of life in Baltimore, and Ransone's performance was a perfect fit for the character of vulnerable, troubled man caught in the spiral of crime and family loyalty. Ziggy was not your typical bad guy. He was flawed, deeply human, and tragically unaware of the consequences of his actions. James captured this complexity with a raw intensity that made the character impossible to forget. Although his time on The Wire was relatively brief, his performance left a lasting imprint on the series and its fanbase. Ziggy's emotional journey, from his desperate attempts to prove himself to the tragic consequences of his misguided choices, was a powerful arc, and Ransone played it with a depth that spoke volumes about his ability to embody a character's internal struggles. This role not only earned him critical acclaim but also cemented his place as one of the most promising actors of his generation. Following his breakthrough role, Ransone was cast in a variety of films and television shows, each of which showcased his incredible range as an actor. In the horror genre, he appeared in Sinister, a chilling supernatural thriller in which he played the deputy who uncovers the terrifying secrets of a haunted house. His portrayal of a character teetering between fear and disbelief was both unsettling and compelling, demonstrating his ability to elevate the tension of the film with his performance. The film was a commercial success, and his role garnered positive reviews, further solidifying his reputation in Hollywood. Ransone's talent for portraying characters on the fringes of society, often individuals struggling with their own flaws and demons, became his signature. In The Night Of, he played Officer Mike, a small but memorable role that once again demonstrated his knack for portraying complex, multi-dimensional characters. His portrayal of a character with moral ambiguity in the hit HBO miniseries added depth to the show's exploration of the justice system, and his performance was praised for its subtlety and nuance. Despite the darker roles that often defined his career, James was also able to showcase his versatility in comedy. His appearance in films like Generation Kill and The Affair allowed him to bring humor and lightness to his characters, proving that he could move effortlessly between drama and comedy. Ransone's versatility wasn't just about playing different types of characters, but also about the depth he brought to each role. Whether playing a troubled man in the depths of despair or a character who offered a moment of levity in an otherwise tense story, James had a rare ability to evoke empathy in the audience. One of his most remarkable achievements was his ability to transcend the typical limits of fame and popularity. He wasn't interested in being the biggest star on the red carpet or garnering the most headlines. Instead, he focused on his craft, choosing roles that challenged him, roles that would allow him to grow as an actor. This dedication to his art earned him the respect of his peers and the admiration of fans who appreciated his ability to remain grounded despite his success. James was also known for his humility and his willingness to collaborate with others. In interviews, he often spoke about the importance of community within the entertainment industry, highlighting how the work of his colleagues in The Wire and other projects helped shape his own performances. He was a collaborator at heart, always seeking to learn from others and contribute to the collective success of a project. While James's career was marked by these standout roles and accomplishments, it was also defined by the way he approached acting. He had a unique ability to bring authenticity to every role he played. His performances were always deeply human, filled with raw emotion and vulnerability. Whether playing a small-town cop, a haunted deputy, or a heartbroken father, James never failed to make his characters feel real. This ability to connect with the audience on such a personal level was what made his work so memorable. The impact of his work wasn't just about the roles he played, but the way he chose to use his platform. James understood the power of storytelling and the responsibility that came with it. His work often explored complex social issues such as crime, poverty, and the challenges of growing up in difficult circumstances. Through his characters, he brought attention to these issues in a way that was both powerful and relatable. Although he may not have achieved the level of fame that some of his contemporaries did, James Ransone's legacy is undeniable. His contributions to television and film continue to resonate with audiences, and his work remains a testament to the power of understated brilliance. In an industry that often celebrates the loudest voices, Ransone's quiet strength and commitment to his craft set him apart, and his influence will continue to be felt for years to come. Despite the success that James Ransone achieved in his career, his life behind the scenes was far more complicated. For all the praise he received for his acting, there was a much darker side to his journey, one filled with personal battles, deep emotional struggles, and challenges that often went unnoticed by the public. Like many artists, Ransone's personal life was often shrouded in mystery, but the pain he carried within himself began to surface in ways that would impact both his career and his well-being. While James was known for his dedication to his craft, the pressures of the entertainment industry and the demands of fame took their toll on him. As his career flourished, so did the emotional weight he carried from his past. The trauma of his childhood, the struggles he faced growing up in Baltimore, and the personal losses he endured in adulthood began to haunt him. James was no stranger to heartbreak, and the emotional scars left by difficult relationships and unhealed wounds from his past would surface at the most unexpected moments. His battles with mental health were something he rarely spoke about publicly, but they were an open secret within his close-knit circle. James struggled with anxiety, depression, and a sense of isolation that seemed to follow him everywhere he went. In interviews, he would often speak about how the pressures of fame and the intensity of the roles he played affected his mental state. It was as if the weight of every character he portrayed, each one with its own set of emotional baggage, was a burden he couldn't fully shake off. As his career advanced, the darker side of fame crept into his personal life. James began to withdraw from the public eye, retreating into solitude and away from the world that had once adored him. He turned to substances as a way to numb the pain, finding temporary relief in the very things that would slowly erode his health and well-being. His struggle with substance abuse became a silent battle that few knew about, even as his performances continued to captivate audiences. The reality of his situation was starkly different from the image that was projected on screen. While he was often seen as a dynamic and energetic presence in his roles, the truth was that he was grappling with something much darker in his own life. The pressure to maintain a public persona, to always be on for the cameras, weighed heavily on James. He had always been the type of actor who poured everything into his roles, and the emotional toll of playing such intense characters left him vulnerable. The demands of constantly being in the public eye, coupled with his personal demons, led to a breakdown that not only affected his career but also his relationships with those closest to him. Friends and family began to notice his isolation, and though he tried to push through it, the cracks in his facade were becoming more evident. The emotional toll of his struggles, combined with his unhealthy coping mechanisms, eventually led to his absence from the industry for extended periods. While some speculated that James was merely taking a break to focus on his personal life, the reality was that he was in the midst of a battle that he couldn't fight alone. The same actor who once captivated audiences with his vulnerability on screen now found himself retreating from the world that had once embraced him. James's downward spiral was not just a personal tragedy but a professional one as well. As his struggles deepened, his acting opportunities became fewer, and his presence in the entertainment industry began to fade. He had become a shadow of his former self, a man lost in his own pain. What had once been a promising career was now plagued by personal crises and the constant battle with addiction and depression. The industry that had once praised him now seemed to have turned its back, and James was left trying to pick up the pieces of his broken life. Despite these struggles, James was not without hope. Those who knew him best described him as a fighter, someone who never gave up despite the odds. But the emotional and physical toll of his battles eventually took a fatal turn. His health deteriorated, and the toll of years spent in the spotlight, combined with his ongoing personal battles, left him vulnerable. In his final years, James found himself once again fighting for a semblance of peace. He sought help, reaching out to friends, family, and professionals in an attempt to reclaim his life. But the darkness that had consumed him for so long was not so easily vanquished. His passing at the age of 46 came as a shock to those who had followed his career. And though it seemed sudden, it was the inevitable result of the long, unspoken struggles he had faced behind closed doors. James Ransone's death was a tragic reminder of the fragility of life, especially for those who seem to have it all. His career, filled with highs and lows, was a testament to his talent and resilience. But it was also a stark illustration of the hidden battles many face in the pursuit of success. His death marked the end of an era for his fans and the entertainment industry, and his legacy will forever be tied to the man he was both on screen and off. James Ransone's final years were marked by a profound sense of reflection, a quiet yearning for peace that had eluded him for so long. After years of battling personal demons, he found solace in moments of solitude, often surrounded by the people who had known him best, his family and a small circle of friends who supported him through the darkest times of his life. These people saw the man behind the actor, a compassionate soul with a passion for life and a deep love for his craft, but one who was forever haunted by the weight of his struggles. In his final days, Ransone reached out for help, seeking to overcome the addictions and emotional turmoil that had defined much of his adult life. He was determined to reclaim the joy he once felt from acting, to reconnect with the people he loved, and to heal. Yet, the damage caused by years of emotional neglect, substance abuse, and depression was too much to undo. Still, in his final moments, he expressed gratitude for the opportunities he had and the impact he had made on the world, no matter how fleeting. One of the most poignant aspects of his final days was his desire to leave behind a message for those who had followed his career. James wanted his fans to remember him for the work he had done, for the way he had brought characters to life on screen, and for the genuine love he had for acting. But he also hoped that his story, his struggles as much as his successes, could serve as a lesson. His life was a reminder of the importance of mental health, the destructive nature of addiction, and the strength it takes to keep going even when the world feels like it's falling apart. Those close to him recall that his last days were filled with quiet introspection. He often spoke about the joy of his early acting days, reminiscing about the camaraderie of his colleagues and the thrill of working on projects that truly spoke to him. Yet, he also expressed a sense of regret about the toll his career had taken on his personal life, particularly in terms of relationships and his sense of self. For James, The legacy he would leave behind was one of complexity, of both brilliance and tragedy, of joy and pain. James's passing left a void in the entertainment world. He may not have been a household name, but for those who knew his work, his contribution to film and television was immense. His portrayal of troubled characters who were often misunderstood or marginalized, became a symbol of his own struggles and triumphs. James Ransone was never just an actor. He was a voice for those who felt unseen and unheard. And in doing so, he became a hero in his own right. In the years following his death, his legacy continued to inspire those who knew him and admired his work. His films and television appearances live on, reminding fans of his immense talent and his unique ability to capture the human experience in all its complexity. But perhaps his greatest legacy is the way he touched the lives of others, both on and off the screen. James was a man who understood the fragility of life, and he carried that understanding with him throughout his career. His performances were raw, vulnerable, and deeply human, a reflection of the actor himself. In his final moments, James may have been at peace with the work he had done, but his passing marked the end of a chapter in the story of an actor who gave everything to his craft. While his life was cut short, his influence and his art continue to resonate with those who knew him, and his memory will live on as a testament to the strength it takes to be vulnerable, to fight, and to keep going even when the world feels like it's against you. James Ransone's life was one of contradictions, a tale of triumph and tragedy, of brilliance and vulnerability. In many ways, he embodied the very essence of what it means to be human, flawed, searching for meaning, and striving to overcome the burdens that life places on our shoulders. Through his work, he became a beacon of authenticity in an industry often defined by superficiality. His characters, though sometimes complex and deeply troubled, were always grounded in truth, a reflection of the man behind the roles. Despite the personal struggles that defined much of his later life, James' legacy is undeniable. His performances in The Wire, Sinister, The Night of, and many other projects left an indelible mark on the entertainment world. He may not have been the most famous actor, but for those who experienced his work, his impact was profound. He was a master of bringing depth to even the most minor characters, and his ability to evoke empathy in his audience made him an unforgettable talent. Beyond his career, James Ransone's story serves as a reminder of the importance of mental health and the silent battles many face in the pursuit of success. His life, though tragic in many ways, was a testament to the power of resilience and the courage it takes to keep moving forward, even when the weight of the world seems unbearable. As we remember James, let us honor not only the actor, but the man, the one who fought to find peace, who gave everything to his craft, and whose legacy will continue to inspire those who follow. His story is one of strength, love, and the enduring power of the human spirit. Rest in peace, James Ransone. Your work will forever live on.